Today, we will look at some of the most difficult games ever made, from classics of the 8-bit era to modern masterpieces. We'll evaluate these games based on several criteria, including difficulty relative to their time period, level design, and boss fights. So get ready to test your skills because these games are not for the faint of heart. Without further ado, let's dive into our list of the top 10 most difficult video games of all time. Number 10. Flappy Bird. Due to its notoriously addicting gameplay, Flappy Bird's inventor had to remove the game from multiple app stores, which led to a surge of imitations. This served merely to add gasoline to the fire of its mythology, and as a result, this game, which is deceptively simple yet highly challenging, has developed a reputation as being among the most demanding games ever created. Number 9. Returnal. Returnal is a third-person survival horror shooter played from the third-person perspective and shares many similarities with the Souls series. It is a challenging game. Although some of these concepts have been altered recently to make the game more approachable, the game's stringent criteria for growth remain a significant part of its difficulty. Even though there are some irritating parts in Returnal, it is still worth it to stick around to the end of the credits. Number 8. Ninja Gaiden series. The only people who can genuinely enjoy a Ninja Gaiden game are those who have mastered the game's complex mechanics. Although the game has an easy setting, it will mock you and refer to you as a ninja dog. All 3 Ninja Gaiden adventures will test a player's mettle, with the first game likely being the hardest. Ninja Gaiden's combat is intense, satisfying, and bloody. In addition, it is highly punitive because hordes of enraged foes constantly surround you. Number 7. Sifu. Sifu is a rough, unforgiving, and utterly skill-based fighting game, similar to the classic beat-em-ups of yesteryear. Those skilled in recognizing patterns and motions will not only be the ones who can make the most use of Sifu, but also have the best chance of surviving. Even though Sifu is in an entirely different genre than the Souls series or Elden Ring, it shares some gameplay elements with those two franchises, particularly in the game's boss fights. One mistake is all it takes for a player's run to be over, and to make matters worse, the game punishes players for failing and dying by making the game's main character older with each passing life. Number 6. Cuphead. At first glance, Cuphead appeared to be a tribute to cartoons from the 1940s and 1950s. Unbeknownst to the participants, the game's attractive facade concealed one of the most complex challenges ever and a lesson in futility and frustration. Never judge a Cuphead by its cover, and before playing this game, relax your anxieties by sipping some chamomile tea. Number 5. Ghosts and Goblins. It's time to travel back in time after all these contemporary games and die a lot. Ghosts and Goblins can be finished in a reasonable amount of time, likely much less, but most players won't make it that far. New players may likely need days or even weeks to complete the game. While some players may make it appear simple on YouTube, things rarely turn out that way in real life. Number 4. Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is a straightforward, fluid platformer. It has well-designed mechanics and captivating themes and visuals. The game will chew up players like yesterday's meal before discarding them, which is the only minor drawback. Only those who have played Super Meat Boy for a while and experienced the tears of frustration that come with it can properly understand it. Number 3. Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1-3, Demon's Souls, Bloodborne. Elden Ring now holds the 3rd spot. However, it does so alongside its older siblings, the Dark Souls trilogy, its cousin Bloodborne, and its great-grandfather Demon's Souls. We're combining the Souls series into one entry to prevent From Software's games from taking over the entire list. It's the first Dark Souls game to merit praise for its difficulty. A Cenobite would blush as this game took the Demon's Souls premise, made it much harder and bleaker, and filled its terrible universe with many masochistic joys. Number 2. Sakuro. Some might be shocked that Sakuro is not ranked 3rd among the games. Sakuro is not a Souls game, despite being a From Software title. The game is a challenging single-player-only adventure, despite having many parallels to games like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, etc. The game rewards cunning, persistence, practice, and mastery of its mechanics. Sakuro isn't for those who want to button mash their way through it. The lack of multiplayer and refusal to make concessions make the game the harshest experience From Software has ever created. Number 1. Contra. Pick any of the original Contra games to find out what we mean. We loathed it but learned to adore it and won its acceptance as time passed. The difficulty of Contra, which may have set the bar for all future video games, is still as tough as nails today. Most players still need to finish the game, and a Konami code won't help either, even if the game had limited lives and continued in Contra. Contra games follow many of the same rules as Ghosts and Goblins and keep the action moving quickly, making players familiarize themselves with the concepts. This was all for today. I hope you liked the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Stay safe, and we will be right back soon with another video. For more information, subscribe and watch other videos from our channel.